Hey everyone, welcome to Quick Brick Games. We talk about all the latest news regarding the LEGO game series created by TT Games, as well as create guides and stuff like that. And today we're going to be talking about LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga, which of course is the big LEGO game coming out in 2020. Well, probably the only LEGO game coming out in 2020 that we know of right now. And as you know, the game did not show up at the Game Awards 2019. I made a prediction video. I thought the game might show up there. I didn't say if it would or even if it was likely, but I thought it might. But unfortunately, it did not. It was a complete no-show. And then, of course, we thought it would show up at, or possibly show up at XO 19 back in November. It didn't show up there, so it has been over 6 months now since we've heard anything about this game. TT Games did the big reveal back at E3 2019, but since then they have been dead silent about LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Nothing on Twitter. As I've said before, I think it would be cool if they just posted like a weekly or bi-week or every other week screenshot of the game, just so we could see what the game looks like. But they've been silent. They've been silent, unfortunately. But what was shown off at the Game Awards, which I thought was the best part of the show. A lot of people didn't like the Game Awards this year. Because a lot of the stuff that we, kind of expected to be there wasn't there. I was hopefully expecting, well, of course I was expecting LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga to possibly show up. I was also expecting maybe that new Batman game created by WB Montreal to possibly show up, but none of that stuff showed up. But what did show up that was pretty big, that was the best part of the show, was the next-gen Xbox from Microsoft. The sequel or the successor to the Xbox One and the Xbox One X. So this thing is called the Xbox Series X, which is pretty exciting. And what I want to talk about regarding that is the next-gen consoles, not just Xbox Series X, but also PlayStation 5. And I kind of want to talk about that and what that means for LEGO games, and more specifically, LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga. Because it's possible that the game could be coming to next-gen consoles. We don't know yet. It kind of depends on when the game comes out, and we don't know exactly when the game is coming out. If it's coming out in the beginning of the year or the very end of the year even, that's possible. They haven't given us an exact date. But I will assure you it's not coming out December 31st. I know I've had several people say, look, Amazon and all these other, store websites have it listed as December 31st. Trust me, they do that for every single game. Any game that's just has a vague release date like 2020, it probably has a December 31st date just because they don't know. So I guess to play it safe, they just put it on the last day as the worst possible scenario. There's no way any game is ever going to release on December 31st, at least not a major game, because that's right after Christmas. Of course, you're going to release your game before Christmas so people can buy that for different people as gifts and whatnot. So yeah, don't believe the December 31st date, or any date that's listed on any website right now, unless it's from TT Games, and they haven't said anything about it, so we don't know yet. But anyway, back to the point. So LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga could be coming to next-gen consoles. Of course, it will play on next-gen consoles because both the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X are confirmed to be backwards compatible with at least the last generation, or every game on the last generation. So that means that when LEGO Star Wars The Skywalker Saga comes out on PS4 and Xbox One, it will then be playable on the PS5 and Xbox Series X, respectively. So I think that's pretty cool. Maybe they might even have performance boosts on those new consoles, but we'll have to see. But what if the games were actually made natively for the next-gen consoles? I think that would be pretty cool, and that's kind of what this video is about, because I think the next-gen consoles could provide a lot of benefits to LEGO games. For one thing, the enhanced power of the next-gen could create higher frame rates. So, the earlier LEGO games, especially like LEGO Star Wars The Complete Saga back in 2007, and LEGO Harry Potter and stuff like that, those games actually ran at 60 frames per second, so you had a really smooth experience playing the game. But the later games, I think starting with like LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars in 2011 and onward, they basically started releasing the games at 30 frames per second, so they kind of upped the visuals. You'll notice I've been actually playing the LEGO games in order of release over the past few years, and I noticed once you get to 2011 and LEGO Star Wars 3, The Clone Wars, there's actually a big boost in graphics. Something they did in 2011, I'm not sure if they updated the game engine or what, but they definitely prioritized graphics over frame rate. So the games dropped to 30 FPS, but had a pretty significant graphics boost, and ever since then they've pretty much been 30 FPS. So I think these next-gen consoles could really benefit LEGO games by enabling 60 FPS. I think that would be pretty cool. You could have a much smoother experience. And of course, it doesn't matter too much with LEGO games. You know, frame rate matters with online multiplayer games where you have to have a fast response time. You know, LEGO games are just mostly offline or co-op to where you don't really need a fast response time, but still, it's nice when games run at higher frame rates. And of course, going along with that, another nice feature would be higher resolution. So I'm not sure what the LEGO game resolutions are. Usually I find that information from Digital Foundry, which is a YouTube channel on here, which kind of analyzes the tech stuff of games. And unfortunately, they don't usually do LEGO games, so we don't really know exactly the resolution and everything that every LEGO game's doing. But I think most of them probably land at 720p, at least starting with, you know, the 2011 Clone Wars game. So I think it would be cool if we had 4K resolution on the next-gen consoles. You know, Phil Spencer from Microsoft, the head of Xbox, actually said that he wants 4K 60 FPS to be the standard on the Xbox Series X for next-gen. So I think that would be cool if we had LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga on next-gen running in 4K 60 FPS, so ultra high resolution, high frame rate. And I think that would really enhance this experience. It would enhance all the cutscenes and stuff like that, and it would really help the game. And another major benefit that's coming to next-gen consoles, and the stuff I'm talking about pretty much applies to PS5 and Xbox Series X, by the way. But another thing would be faster loading time. So if you don't know, the next-gen consoles are both confirmed to use SSD drives instead of traditional hard drives like the current consoles use. And if you don't know, we're getting kind of techie in this video, but SSDs are way faster than hard drives. Like, I'd say they're over 10 times faster. I'm not sure what the exact calculation is, but they're significantly faster to where you'll tell a difference. And they're saying, at least Phil Spencer from Xbox is saying that basically load times are going to be virtually eliminated, which is pretty crazy. And I think that would especially be helpful on these newer LEGO games, which are kind of more taxing and have more data or more detailed and everything like that. Load times have gotten a little bit longer with the more recent games, so I think it would be cool if they utilize that SSD on the next-gen consoles and eliminated loading times, because we don't know what the loading times are going to be on LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, at least on these current consoles. They could be pretty significant. You know, you're supposed to be able to travel in space in the hub worlds and travel to different planets, and all that stuff is a lot of data, and that requires loading. So using an SSD would definitely help improve the loading times and maybe even eliminate them if Phil Spencer from Xbox is to be believed. So I think that would be pretty cool, you know, if you're playing LEGO Star Wars and you can literally go from planet to planet without a single loading time. I think that would be pretty cool if they could pull that off. You know, maybe it's like that on the current consoles, but I kind of doubt it. There's probably going to be loading involved. So on next gen, it would be pretty sick if they completely eliminated loading times with using the SSD. And then another benefit of next gen consoles and the new graphics cards that are in them is just more realistic looking Legos. So on the Skywalker Saga right now, you can see in the screenshots that we have, the Legos already do look more detailed. Like I think in an interview from E3 with TT Games, as they said in this game, the Legos are actually going to have like scratches on them and stuff like that. Like they're going to look like real Legos that you have in your house, which is pretty crazy. Because if you go back and look at LEGO Star Wars, the original game back in 2005, you know, they were very basic models. I think even like the little holes in the back of the legs of the Legos weren't even actually modeled in. It was just like an image or a texture on the Lego. So I think that's pretty cool how we could have extremely detailed Legos on next-gen consoles. I mean, they're already going to be extremely detailed in the Skywalker Saga, but if you think with next-gen consoles, they can make it even more detailed, make those textures super high resolution, and we could have some really great-looking gameplay. And then one last small benefit that they announced for the Xbox Series X. This doesn't apply to PS5 as of right now, at least. We don't know for sure. But the Xbox Series X is actually going to be able to run 2 games at once, so you can actually play one game, and then pause it, and then go into another game, and then go back to right where you left off in that first game. So I don't know why you would want to do this, but you could potentially actually play 2 LEGO games at once, which I think is pretty cool. With the Xbox Series X, it's fully backwards compatible with, you know, the 360 LEGO games, at least most of them. So it'd actually be pretty cool. You could play the old LEGO games, you could be playing Complete Saga using backwards compatibility, and then you could be playing the Skywalker Saga at the same time, technically. So that's pretty cool. It's just a nice little feature I thought I'd mention there. I'm not sure how practical it is, but hey, you can do it, at least on Xbox Series X. We'll have to see if PS5 can do that whenever they announce it. But anyway, that's going to be the video. I just wanted to make a video talking about the possibility of LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga coming out on next-gen consoles. You know, if the game releases, you know, in November or December when these next-gen consoles are coming out, then it'll definitely be on the next gen, but if it releases earlier than that, we'll have to see if TT Games re-releases the game on next gen. We'll have to wait and see. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to be notified when new videos come out, where we're going to be talking about LEGO Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga, as well as different LEGO games as well. We'll have videos about that. And like the video if you enjoyed it, if you got something of value from this. But anyway, that's going to be it. I'll see you guys later.